Good morning. Today's second lesson, Principles of Management. The topic is Significance of Principles of Management. That means importance or why we need principles of management or what is the benefit of these principles of management. That's what we are going to see. Now you can see here these principles derive their significance through their utility. It means that how far you are using the principles of management correctly in the right place, then according to that utility only, these principles of management will be beneficial. Okay, so these principles can be used under repetitive circumstances as a matter of management habit. That means it is again, what is principle of management? It is rules. So rules and regulations, or it can be just as a formula to apply to a particular problem. That means some kind of common repetitive circumstances, how you should behave, how you should take decision, that is only principles of management. So when you make it as a management habit, then obviously these principles can be useful. Okay, this is the introduction. Fine. Now coming to the first importance, that is providing managers with useful insights into reality. This is your first one. So here, providing managers with useful insight. Insight means what, ma? There is a problem or there is a situation, you have to see into it. That means into it means the cause of that particular situation or problem, or what is the real thing behind it. See, in before you, the persons may be having a conflict. They will tell you a different reason. But reality may be something else inside their mind. The reason for their conflict may be something else. Understand? So, as a manager, when you follow these principles of management, you will know how to look into the reality of the situation. Okay, that is only insights, means looking into the problem, depth into the problem. So, what they are saying, adherence to these principles will add to managers' knowledge, ability and understanding. So knowledge is when you keep on facing circumstances, you will have an experience. You will know what is usually will be the problem, what is the behavior of psychology of the workers, or what is the environmental condition. Like that you will have some idea. Okay, ability. So ability to solve the problem and take immediate decision will be increased. Understanding. Understanding is before even you can complete analyzing the problem, you will come to a understanding. Okay, this is going to be like this only. So that is understanding. So you will have knowledge, you will have ability, you will have understanding of managerial situations and circumstances, that only. So any situation which is going to come suddenly, the stock in your storeroom is completely over, but you're not able to place new orders. So like this already situation you might have faced, ma. So why the stock has reduced, why the storekeeper did not notice it, or how to arrange in such a circumstances, how to arrange for stocks. Such things you will already be experiencing and circumstances. So these things, how you will be experiencing with the help of these principles of management. They are the formula, ready-made formulas, and they are the rules and regulation to deal with such situations. Understand? So from that principles, what all you can do? You can learn from your past mistakes. So already you have done some mistakes. You have taken one decision. That decision has gone wrong. So in that sense, you can learn from that mistakes. Like you can verify your decision with the principles of management, whether I have taken decision based on the principles of management or not. If I have taken, then where I made the mistake, why such a consequence has come. Like that you can learn from your past mistakes. Next one is solve recurring problems quickly. That's what I already told you. Principles or ready-made formulas for recurring problems, which is common problem. A business means always certain problems will come and they'll be the same nature again and again, like the labor making problems or salary increment problems. Okay, like this storehouse running out of stock, finished goods are not selling easily. So like that, these recurring problems, you have immediate solutions. So you know how to take decision. Immediately you can do it. Even though they are not ready-made solution, they are ready-made guidelines. Understand? Hence what happens, it increases efficiency. You remember what is efficiency? Making things happen but with a low cost, so that you will be increasing your efficiency. So that is your first one, providing managers with useful insights into reality. This is the first importance and significance of principles of management. Now coming to the second one, optimum utilization of resources and effective administration. Optimum. What is the meaning of this word optimum? Correct. That is the meaning. Okay. Not too high, not too low. It is exactly correct. So correct utilization of resources and effective administration. Effective means seeing that all work are done properly. So when you use the optimum utilization, here one term comes. What is it? Nothing but this efficiency. Optimum means correct utilization, minimum utilization. Okay. So when you use the resources minimum and also you are an effective, then you become a perfect manager, isn't it? So for that, principles of management are very helpful. So why you should use it optimum? Why should I always focus on using minimum amount of resources? What is the reason? Because resources are limited. Okay, wherever it is, these resources are limited, the amount of capital you have invested, the skilled labor, the one who's trained such kind of labors, educated personalities, they are all limited. So see, educated persons are many, but that talented persons are limited. So you should use human as well as material things very efficiently. You should use them only little, but benefit should be maximum. Okay. Next one, what is the optimum use? According to your syllabus, optimum use means resources should be put to use in such a manner that they should be giving maximum benefit with minimum cost. So when you're using a machine, maximum how much ever out of that machine you can make it up, you should make it up, but your cost must be minimum only. That is only a clever management. Okay, amount of spending must be very less, but getting the benefit must be very high. So that is known as optimum utilization of resources and effective administration. This is possible with the help of the following the principles of management. You can achieve this. Okay. Fine. Now we go to the next one. And moreover, how you can use optimum resources, the steps. First of all, wastage is avoided. That is one thing. See, wastage is when you know the correct method of production. Okay, then unnecessary trial and error method is not needed. Maybe we can do like this and see whether it is coming properly. Or we can do in another way and see. Why should you do that? When you know the correct method and correct technology, you are not going to waste anything. See, always wastages will 100% be there in any production process. That is known as normal wastages. That is unavoidable. But beyond that, if the wastages are more means, then there is a problem with the management. Management is not doing it properly. Okay. Next one. Using the resources for personal welfare or according to personal whims and fantasy. This can be avoided. That means if you are not managing, that is if there is no proper principle of management means, then what will happen? They will, the one who's having the power to use that resources will use it for their personal use. They will not use it for organizational use. Then all that resources will be stolen away from the organization for their own personal. That is one thing. Another thing, imagine one department manager is very close to the CEO. Then what will happen? He will allocate more fund for that particular department alone unnecessarily, and they will enjoy that, which is not good for the organization. So you should not overuse the resources. You should not waste it. And you should not underuse it. Underuse it means using lesser amount than needed. What will happen? Your product quality will go away. So only it is known as optimum usage. Understand, ma? Okay. Third one is scientific decision. So these principles of management are helpful for taking scientific decision. What is that scientific decision? That means any decision which you take must have these characteristics. First of all, they should have fact in it. Fact means which is making sense. Any truth which is making sense. It shouldn't be senseless. Thoughtfulness. Any decision must be taken only after thinking a lot about the consequences. What will happen if I take this decision? How much I have to spend? If I take this decision, what I will be losing if I am going to choose one option? What option I will be losing? It is known as opportunity cost. If I am using this opportunity, which opportunity I will be missing? Then what I won't be getting? Such things you have to think about. Then justifiable, that means when you take a decision, you should be able to prove that it is beneficial to you or to the organization. That is justifiable. Okay. Then these three factors should be there. Any decision should have these three factors. Then they should be timely. Timely means immediately you should take, not passing the time. So when it is needed, at that situation, what is more needed? What is more important? Based on that only your decision should be. Okay. It's known as presence of mind. So at that point of time, immediately how to solve the problem. Or at that point of time, what is more important? Sometime money is more important. Sometime customer is more important. Sometime competition is more important. It's okay to spend money, but you should win the competition. So at that point of time, what is needed? And another thing, immediately without delaying you should take. That is timely. Realistic. It shouldn't be imaginative. Simply I'm going to take a decision. Okay, I'm going to beat the competitor. So I'm going to produce 10,000 units just in 1 month. It should be realistic. And I'm going to provide a feature in my product which no one else has provided. It's going to be magical. Is it possible? No. So what is possible? What is realistic? Such a decision only you should take. Next one, subject to measurement and evaluation. That means the decision you have taken, it should be able to be measured. For example, you are saying that I am going to make sales of 10,000 units or I am going to make sales of 5,000 units in this week. Then it is units. You can count that unit, isn't it? 5,000 units or 1 unit is 10 rupees. So 5,000 unit into 10 rupees. How much you will have? 50,000 rupees. So you should be able to measure it. Simply you should not say I will make a very big sales in this week. How much big it is? What is the number of unit? What is the number of amount of cost? So any decision should be measurable and evaluated. That means testing it. Understand? So your decision should be timely, realistic, subject to measurement and evaluation. Only then it is known as scientific decision. Otherwise it will be called as emotional decision. We don't want that in business. Understand? How it is all achievable, ma? It should be factful, thoughtfulness, justifiable, timely, realistic, subject to measurement and evaluation. These are all possible only when you use the principles of management as a guide to take your decision. Then you can achieve all these above things. Understand? See, in a business, a decision should be like this only. Understand? So, how you can attain it? Using the principles of management. Understand, ma? This is your third one, scientific decision. Now going to the fourth one. Meeting changing environment. So what is this word you remember when I'm saying about changing environment? Dynamic. You remember this? Dynamic means capacity to change according to the environmental changes. So for a manager, it is very much necessary, isn't it or not? So meeting the environment changes. Why? Environment keeps on changing. See, the taste, the likings, okay, the fashion, such things in the society will keep on changing, isn't it or not? And again, any other changes, political changes. If the ruling party is changing, lot of changes will come. And then the currency is every day changing, isn't it? The Indian rupee compared to dollar. Like that, changes will be there in the environment always. Okay, and it some may be unexpected changes, like today we are having this change, isn't it? We are all kept locked down in our house. All the economy is facing a lot of trouble, isn't it? This change, particularly if you take business side, it has affected a very lot, isn't it? If you take this recreation sector, if you take hotels and cinema malls and such things, total loss only for them. So such kind of changes will come. Unexpected, shocking changes, surprising changes also sometimes it will come. All of a sudden we will have a very big business which we won't even be prepared to provide so much. We should be ready, no, to give. We should be equipped. That won't be there. So bigger changes, unexpected changes or regular changes. Example, fashion industry always keeps changing, no? You cannot expect within 1 year itself the trend will change. Even accessory, bags, the way of bags they need, the style, everything keeps on changing. Political side it changes, cultural side it changes, even the climatic changes will come. So climatic changes comes, the food habits will change. So whatever business you are in, the changes will affect you. So only you should be able to face the changes. Understand? That only meeting the changing requirements. How it is possible, ma? With the help of following the principles of management, you can adopt yourself to change. So that's what they're saying. Principles are flexible to adapt to changing environment. So that I told you there are 14 principles which we are learning, or the scientific principle. Any principle of management you take, usually they are created in such a way they can be changed according to the environment, changing environment. So that is good for us. Example, ma, division of work. Division of work means, already I told you, the organization as one single unit will have lot of works. For example, you have to buy the raw material, that is one work. You have to store it in the godown without it being perishable, that is another work. And then after that, you have to produce it from raw material into finished product, that is one work. After making it finished product, you have to store it in the godown. For that you have to take insurance. Then after that, to transfer it from there, you have to take it to the wholesale market. From there you have to sell it. Advertisement must be given. One unit has so many work, isn't it? So what we are going to do? We are going to divide all similar works together. That is only division of work. All buying in one department. Production, one department. Dealing with money, one department. Sales, advertisement, one department. Isn't it? Transport, a single department. Like that, that is division of work. But this division of work, now only we are doing like that, ma. Initially, it was only in the factory side. That means in production department only this division of work was done. Okay. So how they did? For example, you take a textile industry, cotton mill. So you have to buy the cotton, clean the seeds and then refine the cotton, turn it into yarn, after that into cloth. After that into thread, then into cloth. After that you have to give color, which is known as dyeing, isn't it? Then only you have to cut it according to the shape. Then you have to stitch it and then hemming has to be done. And then you have to iron it, pack it and then pack in a larger pack and send it. So many work is there. So what they did, they divided the work. One group will do only cleaning the seeds. Other group will do only turning into yarn. Then the one more group will be there only to thread. Another group to make it as a cloth. Another group to only cut the pieces. So like that they divided the work in the factory site, which was given by Frederick Winslow Taylor. He only founded this division of work. But later even Henry Fayol took it up and we made it for the whole organization. Like that only we made the purchase department, production department, finance department. You understand? So initially this division of work was only at the factory site. But it is flexible, so we changed it according to the current scenario and we made it for the whole organization. Like that, the principles of management are flexible. So you can change it according to the new environment requirements. And already I told you scalar chain is one example. Scalar chain means what, ma? According to Henry Fayol, there is one principle of management called a scalar chain. Okay, this scalar chain, it means that the toppest higher authority of that organization will communicate only to his immediate lower authority. He will not talk to the factory people or the supervisor or the production manager. He will talk only to his lower zonal manager, something like that. Understand? Then that zonal manager will talk to his zone production department manager. Immediate subordinate only they will talk to. From there it will go to the supervisor, then to the worker. Okay, this is known as scalar chain of communication. It was given by Henry Fayol. But today it is not like that. This has changed, ma. The communication is all way round, because only when the toppest manager talks to the factory worker, he will know the real situation of that factory. Otherwise, the middle managers will use this power in a wrong way, isn't it? So things have changed. So on that day, scalar chain principle of management was different. Today it is different because according to the changing environment, we have changed it.